guys, Lauren here.
Hi, it's Nicola.
Today we're going to discuss how to find joy in your food by incorporating fruit and vegetable and really having a healthy lifestyle.
So we've got 6 hacks to share and Lauren will share the first hack with you now.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got meal planning. So that's something that's really changed my life. It's been really helpful. It can be a bit hard to get the motivation to actually sit down and meal plan. However, I found on the weeks that I have actually meal planned and planned my shopping list, I eat a lot healthier, I feel a lot better, I have more energy, as opposed to the weeks where I'm like, okay, we'll just get that easy processed food, we'll just get that freezered item, we'll just get this random ingredient. So meal planning is really important. What I like to do is go through recipe books. My favourites are J Wick's Lean and 15, the veggie version and the pinch of none. I try to aim to try about 2 different meals that I've not done before, just to try and push my boundaries on what I can cook. I also use 2 familiar recipes that I know I'm comfortable with cooking and that I can easily cook myself without having to follow a recipe per se. And then I mix the 2. I also use similar ingredients across all recipes, so I'm not wasting food a lot, as that's something I'm really conscious about. I don't want to be contributing to food waste. I want to use as much as I can, so I'm realistic with my meals. I also only meal plan my evening meals. It's a lot more manageable for me, and for my evening meals that's when I tend to use the freshest food, whereas for things like breakfast it's quite easy to store, like porridge oats as an example, and you can just buy berries frozen or fresh just to add to your oats in the morning if you would like to. And Nicola, that takes us into the next point.
Our second hack is subscription to an eco-friendly green box. So what that means is basically you'll have a box of vegetables with fruit or without delivered to your home directly from the farm. Lucky enough to have a farm called East Coast Organics to be delivered to Edinburgh locally, basically. We've been using them for about 1.5 years now, and they've been absolutely fantastic in basically always knowing that you'll have vegetables every week without thinking about it. That was the first thing that we thought. And the second thing was that because the pandemic had hit as well, a lot of people weren't wanting to go to shops and buy their just essentials. So for us it was a saving grace. But luckily we actually started subscription right at the start of the year of 2020. What that means is that you'll get a local box of greens that is organically grown. It's locally sourced as well, or locally grown in their own farm, and most of the time it's going to be seasonal, which means it's not going to be imported from another country. It's more sustainable as well, and the vegetable that you're eating is meant to be eaten right now. Basically, it's really fresh, and best of all, it's organic. So I know that organic food can be really expensive in supermarkets, which puts people off from purchasing them in the first place. With an eco-friendly box like East Coast Organics, it's actually really cost effective. So me and my partner, we spend between us £7.50 each for a box, a generous amount of green box. And this box you can also like customize as well. Like for us, we like to add organic eggs into it. So we know like the chickens are local and it's from their farm. You can mix and match, and it's, you know, it's a good way of getting your veggies and fruit in on a weekly basis or even bi-monthly as well.
And you're also supporting the local business as well, so there's another benefit to it as well. Shopping local, saving money and getting green, so
exactly, win-win.
Exactly,
yeah. Lauren, your next point?
Yeah, of course. So the next point was to batch cook your meals. So this is really important for if you've got a busy schedule, you're prone to getting that last minute takeaway or anything like that. Let's be honest, it's happened to the best of us.
Yeah.
So batch cooking can be a really good way to combat that. I think meals that are really easy to batch cook are things like soups, stews, curries. They're quick to put together. They can easily make a large portion, and you can just pop them in little reusable Tupperwares. You can pop them in the freezer if you're not the type of person that wants to eat the same meal for the next 5 days. Or you can have them for the next 5 days if that's what you'd like. It's really entirely up to you. It can also work well if you have a big family, so you can just make loads in advance so you're not having to cook every single night. The goal is to find what works for you. If you're happy to spend that time in the evening cooking because it's quite a nice mindful experience, definitely do that. But if you're more wanting to incorporate healthy items and vegetables and fruit into your life, but you're on a busy schedule and it's just not practical, then batch cooking could be great for you. You can even make a day of it. You could say, for example, let's say you're off every Sunday. You can say Sunday is going to be my day or my morning that I'm going to spend batch cooking my meals for the next couple of weeks. Pop little sticky labels on the Tupperware so you know it's not gone off, and that's you for the next couple of weeks and month, however long you're planning for.
Me and my partner, when we batch cook, it's actually for a few days, but we can cook for like 2 meals, but it's for 2 people.
Yeah.
So that's quite good. It's for 2 nights running, not thinking about what to cook next.
Exactly.
And you know where you're eating too, because let's face it, when you get takeaway, it's great at that moment, but you'll feel not great the next day.
Yeah, and trust me, we've all felt it. You feel that stodgy feeling, the feeling of regret. It's not the same feeling you get from having like a healthy meal. Don't get me wrong, everything's great in moderation and I'm all for a takeaway, but you'll know if you've done it consecutively a few days how bad it can really make you feel.
Yeah, we've all done that, haven't we?
Guilty. So what's our next hack?
Our 4th hack is seasoning is your best friend. What I mean is what we use to cook our vegetables can really take it to the next level. So my best pick would be soy sauce, oyster sauce. I also like the vegetarian version of the oyster sauce, which is basically mushroom soy sauce, oyster sauce. It's just an extract from the mushroom, which gives it an umami taste. I also like cooking, like stir frying my vegetables with garlic. That really adds a nice depth flavour to it, a nice body to it. Like if you're roasting as well, and it's great with like harissa spice. I've got peri spice, Cajun spice, paprika. You can literally, add seasoning to any vegetable. I've used curry powder the other day, and that really lifted and added some great depth to red cabbage, which let's face it,
by itself it's quite a boring item.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show how much you can enhance an item's flavour and make it more enjoyable. Like even things like Brussels sprouts.
I roasted Brussels sprouts for my partner. He does not like Brussels sprouts, but he did like it when I added some nutritional yeast flakes onto it, which adds a cheesy flavour to it. So it's like cheese flavour without the cheese, because he doesn't eat dairy. That's another aspect to think about. So I basically coated it with a bit of salt and pepper and nutritional yeast flakes, and that instantly changed and enhance the flavour of Brussels sprouts, which can be quite bitter as well.
And that was 3 ingredients to make Brussels sprouts taste better.
Yeah.
So it's really, really practical as well. We're not telling you to go out and buy 10 different spices, 10 different herbs, 10 different powders. It's really, really quite effective. You can do it so easily.
Pick your favourites in your pantry. So for me, I really enjoy using ground coriander, cumin seeds. And I really enjoy using peri spice for my potatoes, and I always use harissa for my other vegetables. And recently, like I said, curry powder is a good one. It's something that you wouldn't think of like adding as a seasoning when roasting cooking your vegetables, because you use it to make a curry sauce. But no, you probably have that in your pantry somewhere, and it's an interesting way of just adding life to it.
It's like breaking the boundaries of what you would expect and what you would traditionally pair something with, and just going out and trying something different.
Laura, you were going to talk about our next 5th hack.
So our 5th hack is dressing up your food. So I find myself, when I dress up a food, make a plate look nice, I'm more inclined to eat it. We did this quite recently where we made some pancakes, got some nice Greek yogurt, dotted it on the plate and cut up some berries nicely, and then drizzled maple syrup. And we had it on like a nice plate. It was really appealing, and it was a really nice, joyful and mindful experience. So that's something I can definitely recommend. It's something you should definitely do. Play around with textures, tastes, find what you like, find what you don't like, add more of what you like, of course, and just really dress it up and make it more visually appealing. Think of those Instagram posts that you see and you're like, oh, that looks really good. Try and maybe replicate that in your own way.
You know, you can do that with porridges, you can do that with your like your granolas, your smoothies, your smoothie bowls.
Yeah, exactly. It's endless what you can do. Just placing an item, like a piece of fruit or vegetable, whatever you're eating, just placing it a certain way and making it visually appealing. Yeah. It also makes it quite playful as well, which we forget with cooking. It can be quite a playful experience. Yeah. So it's taking the mundaneness out of it, of the kind of, okay, I've got to do this because I've got to eat, we've got to feed our family, we've got to eat, we've got to do this. It's actually being like, okay, no, this can actually be a really nice, enjoyable experience. If you've got kids, get the kids involved. You can all make your own design, make your own whatever you want to do with your food, and make it a lot more collaborative and a lot more enjoyable, definitely. So, and our final hack,
last but not least, we're going to talk about experimenting. That's our 6th hack. And basically, I guess it brings everything together what we've been talking about. In order for you or myself or Lauren to enjoy the experience of eating our veggies and fruit, is actually experiment, because I wouldn't have known how to put curry powder in as a seasoning on my red cabbage if I didn't try it. I wouldn't have tried making a cream sauce with cannellini beans without even trying it.
Exactly, and there are so many things out there that you can try. Like, for example, I had pak choi pad thai. That was something I'd never had before, didn't even know what pak choi was, but that's something that really surprised me, and it's something I've probably walked past so many times in the supermarket, but it's really tasty and really great. Like, I like that type of texture. There's also finding different ways to use ingredients how they wouldn't usually. For example, I know Nicola mentioned about the cannellini beans. You can also do that with cashew nuts to make a nice mac and cheese, a vegan mac and cheese.
Yeah, I like made a cream sauce with that too. Exactly. That's super easy, right?
Yeah, you just need to soak the nuts and then blitz them, and then there's a few extra steps that I won't go into in this video just for the purpose of time, but there's definitely so many things you can make from ingredients that you wouldn't even think of.
It doesn't have to be expensive to try these options. You could just try like something out of a can first and then see how you feel about it, like a jackfruit, for example. I mean, I've only tried jackfruit like about a month or 2 ago. It was a good experience, but again, at least I know like where I can find it next, you know?
Exactly, and it's okay if you don't like things you try. The other thing is to don't beat yourself up if you make a recipe for the first time and it doesn't taste great. I've lost count of the amount of times I've done that, and I've just written the meal off, but now I make a point of making it 2 to 3 times to really understand the recipe, to get the cooking right, cook it on the right heat setting, because that can make a difference, and just really making sure that if I don't like something, it's because I've given it my best shot. I've tried it a few different times, and that's something where I've gone back to recipes that first off I had just written off, so that's another good tip as well.
Yes, and what I find is that the more you cook, the more you experiment, the more intuitively you cook, because you naturally know how to do certain things.
So that's all for now. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give us a like and subscribe. We'll definitely be posting more regularly and creating more content like this.
Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.